Hello, this is the case study analysis and awareness slides. There are 3 case studies being done, which is Rumah Warisan Haji Su, the Imam's house, and number 1 poetry. Rumah Warisan Haji Su is in condition in decay and deterioration due to abandonment under harsh weather. It undergoes restoration and reconstruction. The Imam's house is facing issues within its structure as any of the building with a rich history. It undergoes preservation, maintenance, and repairs. Where number 1 poetry require an updating for growing demand of contemporary office and retail use, it undergoes rehabilitation. The conservation strategy of Rumah Warisan Haji Su is mostly to restore the conditions of the house. Reconstruction is needed to be done as part of the house was severely destroyed and lost. The reconstruction of the lost section is initiated from verbal descriptions and historical evidence, building it in way of mortise and tenon joineries. The preservation strategy for in-house is to make sure the pass on of significant values. Maintenance and repairs work are needed as the house faces some issues with its structures. The conservation is based on a respect for existing fabric, use, associations, and meaning. They ensure the house is conserved in a manner that reflects and interprets their original significance. The issue faced by number 1 poetry is lack of appreciation of its architectural style. Postmodernism has received much criticism. This building has been under pressure for alteration and redevelopment to a point of losing architectural history. The fact for the listing of number 1 poetry to prevent a postmodernism architecture from being demolished. After studying the Rumah Warisan Haji Su, the Imam's house, and number 1 poetry, it is glad that there are people working hard to conserve the building so the significant values such as historical value, aesthetic value, communal value, architecture, and cultural value remains. If the conservation was not carried out properly, the meaning of the building and its contents should change. Statement above is based on a case study, Imam's house. The Imam's house is full of cultural significance that providing a deep and inspirational sense of connection to community and landscape, the past and to lived experience. As stated in Brush-Shooter Article 2.2, the aim of conservation is to retain the cultural significance of a place, so the team took conservation action that retain the cultural significance and not distort the physical or other evidence it provides. The key points of the in-house is understanding and investigating the place and its extents, preservation that maintaining the place in its existing state and retarding deterioration, repairs which involves reconstruction using material that reflects and interprets their original significance. There are many reasons why heritage should be conserved, like it plays an important role to define the landmark within the heritage area as well as to generate economic return and to support the tourism industry. But the main point to conserve is because place of cultural significance enrich people's lives, often providing a deep and inspirational sense of connection to community and landscape, to the past, and to lived experiences. There are history records that are important expressions of identity and experience. Places of cultural significance reflect the diversity of our communities, telling us about who we are and the past that has formed us. After doing the analysis of the in-house, appreciation and awareness can be seen as people promote the meanings behind the building and its contents. Till now, there are many people visit the in-house and it serves as a house museum for people to experiencing the value carried by the building. Therefore, I thought that these places of cultural significance must be conserved for present and future generations in accordance with the principle of intergenerational equality. Under surface truth, your buildings should be honest in how they presented themselves. No fancy facades having poor construction, no wood pretending to be stone. When looking at the structural element made of steel, the Imams wanted the steel's performance to be visible and recognized. There is no point to cover the steel that holding up the entire structure with wood to appear as if the wood is effectively bearing the wood. So the transparency of the steel structure shows the honesty of characteristics of steel. The lamp also raises a very valid argument, and I believe buildings tend to be more interesting when you can see some of the structural elements, since it also hints at the story behind the building of how it came to be. The structural truth can often to look to nature as an inspiration for good design. Just as a skeleton is hidden underneath flesh and bone, so an architect is not bound to exhibit its means of support. Based on this statement, the steel structure and concrete play an important role on supporting the Imam's house. It presents itself in imperative form in the Imam's house structure, as a supportive hatch beam securing the frame, as an interlocking decking and open web joists of the roof, as the section for windows and doorways, and as exterior wall siding. Along with providing structural integrity, concrete played a central role in the seating of the Imam's house, as it determined the placement of the slab foundation and the orientation of the primary retaining wall.